I'll be introducing you all to our panel member for the day, Ms. Venika Sukhija. She's the founder of Seraphic Gem. She's a life coach expert and a tarot card reader. Known by the name Seraphic Gem, Venika Sukhija is one of the youngest certified life coaches in the world as she got her certification last year. At the age of 24, she had a vision of empowering people and help them tap the best of their abilities. As soon as she got her certification, she provided 100 hours of free life coaching with meditation sessions. She is also a tarot card reader. She has conducted various workshops in a number of institutions, including Punjab National Bank, Ludhiana, and various educational institutions. Her coaching sessions help people shift towards a positive mindset and be more flexible. Her clients across the world appreciate her work and love to have regular readings. Presently, she is serving as a teacher in Delhi Public School, Abohar. Along with it, she is also practicing life coaching and tarot card reading. She completed her MCOM in Human Resources and Marketing, qualified UGC NET. She's completed her certified life coach course from Symbiosis Coaching US. Also, her research papers are published in national conferences. I welcome you, Venika. All right. So, what exactly is life coaching? Could you break it down for all our students out there?
Yeah, people generally confuse this term as in they believe that life coach is someone whose life is perfect. But trust me, it's not like that. You have to gain those positive insights. You have to gain those, you have to gain that confidence level to deal with certain life circumstances that pulls you up and that empowers you to that level that you are trying to pull people out of the darkness. Basically, what life coaching means to coach someone, to give a challenge to your clients, provide them some of the insights to look upon what's going on in their mind. And because I basically empower people, so I work with minds of people, as in how do they think, how do they act, and then you can coach them, you can make them realize how they are, and then you can provide some of the future insights how they can be. And it's not like the coach is asking them to how they can be, it's like the client himself or herself is unleashing his or her inner power to move on a very next level. So basically, life coaching is all about ever growing series in life because we all know no one is perfect and there is every time a room for improvement. So I feel life coaching has been a bliss to me. Life coaching has been a bliss to each and everyone on earth because once you enter into this journey, once you enter into this process, definitely you're going to get some amount of energy. You're going to meet your new self, your revised self, and definitely you're going to meet your better self.
Right, that's an amazing way to teach what life coaching exactly looks like. Could you also tell us what's tarot card reading exactly and what science goes behind tarot card reading?
Yeah, tarot card readers. See, there are mystic sciences, and India is one such country that's quite famous for its mystic sciences. Mystic sciences basically includes many other fields: astrology, numerology, palmistry, Vastu Shastra, and Vedic astrology. And tarot card reading is one such thing. So basically, the deck that I use is Rider White. That's the basic deck that anyone can use to begin with the tarot reading thing. And you energize the cards through meditations. You invite angels, you invite the divinity, divine power to energize those cards. And then uh, the cards you can pull out with your left hand. Reason being, we need not be biased, we need not be judgmental in the tarot card reading. This is how, like, you the energy is connected to your aura, and thereon what goes in your subconscious mind, what is there in your aura, the cards tell the answer. That may be related to the past, that may be related to the present, and that may be related to the future as well. So basically, whenever we do tarot card reading, we ask the clients to stay alone because it's about their aura, it's about their subconscious energies. We do not want it to intersect with any other person sitting next to them. So this is how, like, tarot cards, there are 78 cards in the deck that I use, and every card has its own significance. So once, like cards, you tend to pull out the cards. You tend to see that the mind holds so many of questions, mind holds so many of energies. Whatever is there in the client's mind, the cards answers the same. So basically, tarot card reading was something that was, founded in the foreign countries around 1870s or beyond that. Uh, there is no fixed course to do tarot reading because every tarot card reader has his or her own pattern. So I won't say that yes, that because this is a mystic science, there is no hard science. So every tarot card reader has to bring up his or her own patterns. The way you do tarot reading, it's completely unique and it's completely different from any other tarot card reader in the world.
Right, right, right. And that sounds very intriguing. That sounds very, very interesting as to what really goes into tarot card reading, which I'm sure you'd also be covering. That how do you charge your cards? What's the role of the crystals? Okay,
Yes,
so what does it feel to make a difference in people's life? Are there any miraculous instances that you can quote?
definitely. Uh, Surprisingly, I have few of my clients here in the list also. Those who have been a part of my life, maybe coaching, maybe tarot card reading. It feels amazing. It feels a sense of satisfaction when you know you just uplift someone, when you de-stress someone, when you empower someone and let them live a stress-free life. Because you all might have seen this movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. तो वो जो टाइटल है definitely it's going to be one of the boosting thing in everyone's life because you have got this life for once. Now it's up to you how you want to live it. Now see, basically just to empower others, है ना, तो उस नोट पे when I come to कि yes I have to de-stress this person, I have to just change this person towards a positive mindset and let him or her think about how the life can be perceived positive. So it's all about your internal zeal, definitely, but yes, to pour on some good points, some good vibes, definitely you need a coach therein. Also, like that sense of satisfaction is something that I wanted to have from years. But I reside in such a town and in such a state where there was no word called life coach. So it was a bit challenging for me because I've had been surfing for what is life coach, how does they do, and every little aspect that a life coach could cover. But yes, once I looked for how does this coaching take place and how are the things done, it was one of the best experiences, one of the best moments of my life to see someone smiling. And it's not like the reason behind is me, definitely, because that person has internal zeal. But yes, at least you could be 1% of that happiness.
Certainly. So that's definitely there. So especially for people who are into helping professions, for them the first and foremost satisfactory thing is to see how the other person is being empowered, how they're changing their lives in a certain direction. And of course, you just have, let's say, a part of it that it's there, but the clients working also really impacts the whole process.
Yeah.
And what made you take up life coaching and tarot card reading in the first place?
This is one of the basic questions that I answer most of the times because in my class, even also, uh, the members were of the age at least 35, and I was the only one who was just 23. And while that first class took place on August 8, 2018, I still remember, everyone was surprised why this kid is there in the class because there were people who were retired from the jobs, there were people who were working as freelancers from years, they had experience, and it was something that was, the passion lifted me up to become a life coach. Now why this journey? Because I feel every person has a purpose in life. Your soul is here on earth to cater some of the needs of the world, to cater some of the needs that your soul wanted to accomplish in this birth. Once, like, I had a crisis in my family, and I myself have faced so many of stress moments for the continues few months and years. And that was, at that time I was very young, though I am, but at that time it was like I was of the age around 21, 22. So that 2 years of life has taught me many more lessons. So I'm not going to share in detail what has happened, but yes, whenever crises come in your life, do not get panic, do not get suppressed, do not get depressed, because life is an economic cycle. Life is just like an economic cycle. If you have boom, you will definitely have recession. You will definitely have depression. It's up to you. How do you lift yourself? So the faith during those moments made me realize, okay, if I can face all the stuff in my life, definitely I can empower and I can be inspiration to many. Because the way I handle things, the way uh, the that black times in life had made you, okay, go and shine. I already had this deal, okay, ऐसा चल रहा है तो definitely कुछ अच्छा भी होने वाला है. That positive mindset worked during that time, and the faith in divinity has uplifted me. And finally I concluded कि that level of stress that I have faced, that my family has faced, I've seen many of my family members just running away from the happiness just out of that stress, because they never tend to feel happy for days, weeks, and months thereon. So I found, okay, those who will be connecting to me, I can at least assure I won't make them sit ideal and just feel depressed or stressed. At least I can help them move out of that zone and smile in life, because वही जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा.
All right. I think this concept would really be needed right now because I do feel that COVID-19 has made a lot of our lives very, very stressful, be it with respect to the business, be it with respect to the career, be it with respect to education, leading life in general. So yes, it's a struggle time for a lot of us, but we are not the ones to assure that things will get better. However, definitely there will be a month, there will be a time where everything's rolling in a fine manner, everything's going back on the same page someday. So
For
yes, a
sure.
lot of things that Venika said can be put across and applied in a current situation.
Yeah.
So, Venika, where did you learn your life coaching and tarot card reading from?
So I qualified my certified life coach course from Symbiosis Coaching US. That's in Shrewsbury. So basically, it's a coaching institution where you tend to have the courses like neuro linguistic programming (NLP). There are courses like certified executive coach, certified OD coach, that's organizational development coach, and then spiritual master coach, and you have the certified life coach course. So
Oh,
basically, that empowers people to be coach. So I qualified it from there, and it's a course of around 6 months, because 24 weeks class is there, and at the end you have to provide coaching sessions. You have to do some of the researches. You have to decide your niche market, and there is many more stuff to do. Thereon, you have your exam, and once you qualify it, then you are good to go to get the certificate. And tarot card reading was in the last year. It's been 1 year I'm doing tarot card reading, and I learned it from one of the international awardees in tarot card reading. That's Mrs. Nupur Heda Patil. So you can search her on YouTube, Instagram, name, and her brand mark is Tarot Rani. She is famously known as Tarot Rani. So I've learned my tarot card reading from her.
okay. And was your certified course was all distant learning, or you had to go there?
It is all distance learning. Even the people who lived in US, they do it at their homes only, and because this class goes worldwide,
Okay,
so
okay,
it's to be done online only. Yeah.
right. So for those of you also looking to pursue a course in life coaching, you can also look at ICF. It's an International Coach Federation, which is also very known for this. And I'm sure the one that Venika suggested can definitely be looked upon. All right. So, is there any practice that you follow on a daily basis, like yoga or meditation or visualization? And how does all of that helps you?
There are many actually. Meditation is something I have been practicing from 2009.
Mm.
And there are days when you do not meditate because you feel so low, your energy is drained. But there are days when you are at the peak. You tend to gain more of that energy to connect more with divinity, to go deeper in all such experiences. Also, like walking, workout, these are some of the basic trends that I usually follow. And yes, visualization, because I strongly believe in law of attraction. So visualization, manifestation, affirmations, these three things go side by side in my daily life.
Right. So a lot of people who have read this book, The Secret, and who've probably read, in fact, the entire series of Secret, would
Yeah.
really understand the concept of visualization, affirmations, and the universal law of attraction. So if this is something that intrigues you, the concept, if that you find this interesting, you can definitely read this book if you haven't read it so far.
Also, the book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, you can even read that. I actually learned from that book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Okay. And what has your experience been with the other mystic science areas like astrology, numerology? So have you tried and ventured into that? And if yes, what's your experience been?
To be honest, I was one such person who used to just move into the apps, move to the people, just to know about what's going to happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one such person who was never confident in life. Even if there would be guesting at home, I would just run away and hide somewhere. I was one such kind of person. But thereon, as my parents used to believe in astrology, and I was once taken to one of the astrologers. So the results were not that good, to be honest. And frankly speaking, on the screen, I have never believed in astrology thereon because it has provided me stress for 4 continuous years. So this astrology has pulled me up and made me believe in my own self. But definitely, I provide this credit to astrology only because astrology, one of the astrologers told that I could never do my bachelor's, and it was something that stressed my mind for entire 3 years time. Wherein, like in the BCom first year, I was told I can never qualify my bachelor's degree. I was wondering what could have happened like that, yeah. Why cannot I do? This was something that was completely popping up in my mind for the days, weeks, and months to come, but I couldn't share it with anyone because I knew the family members believed in astrology, but they supported me that ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, वो बोलते हैं but वो भगवान नहीं है. That day I learned, okay, believe in your own self and believe in Almighty. Definitely, you're going to get good results in the times to come. Thereon, that first year went, second year went, and I was not able to attend the college regularly due to certain health issues. And that made me believe, okay, कहीं astrology सच तो नहीं बोल रही है, कहीं वो astrologer uncle ने सच तो नहीं बताया था ऐसा. Even in the very last moment, when it was like the final result was about to come, I was like, कहीं मेरी डेथ तो नहीं हो जाएगी कि मेरी बैचलर सच में पूरी ना हो. I was too sensitive to all these things and I got stressed कि ऐसा क्या होने वाला है. तो एग्जाम्स हो गए हैं, सब कुछ अच्छा जा रहा था, जब तक रिजल्ट नहीं आया I was stressed enough. That day when result came, I was so happy to qualify my BCom honors. And that day I asked my dad, please call that uncle and let him know that I have qualified BCom. So he was too surprised. He was too astonished actually and asked, how's it possible? Her stars were not in favor. So I told Papa that सी स्टार्स तो पता नहीं फेवर में है या नहीं बट हाँ भगवान जी मेरे फेवर में जरूर है बिकॉज आई हैड बीन स्पिरिचुअल फ्रॉम द बर्थ ओनली एंड दैट वाज द थिंग कि मेरा जो एक्सपीरियंस था एस्ट्रोलॉजी को लेके स्पेसिफिकली इट वाज नेवर सो गुड बट आई नॉट से कि हर किसी के साथ ऐसा होगा मे बी दैट्स नॉट इन माई डेस्टिनी but for my parents it has always proved to be one of the fruitful things. So mystic sciences basically more of it includes palmistry. So uh, from last few months I've started believing in palmistry because one of my friend is a palmist and she does this reading, hand readings and palm readings. So once she told me that this is your life looks like, so it actually resonated with my tarot card reading. So that's the way like I believed, okay, she's telling the truth. And numerology also, we have a mix of numerology and tarot card reading that's completely based upon your date of birth. So if you are born, like I'm born on Jan 10, right? 10 is my number, the birth number. So all those people who are born on Jan 10, they are stubborn enough. Uh, they are goal oriented, and they get experiences in life. It's not like everything is a cup of tea for them, but definitely you have to work hard. This is how you gain experiences, and then like opportunities come to you. It's not like you have to move to opportunities, opportunities come to you. So this bit of numerology we do mix with tarot card reading, and also I believe in that also. But for this Vedic astrology or any of the other sciences, I'm not gained post that bitter experience. I'm not served any of them anymore.
That's amazing. That at least with one area you sort of got a very positive insight about things. And
Yeah.
before we jump into asking more questions about tarot card reading and mystic science, because I'm sure we can talk about it day in, day out, would
Mhm.
you please like to clarify to all our students out there that what's really the difference between life coaching and psychotherapy?
Yeah, so that's a good question. What's the difference between life coaching and psychotherapy? See, counseling, psychotherapy, and coaching, these are usually interchanged terms, but actually it is not. Coaching is far, far different from psychotherapy and your counseling. So, definitely, this counseling is past focused. What has happened in your past? So, maybe you had some bad moments in the childhood, bad memories, some of the hard times in the past. So, counseling focuses on that. But when it comes to life coaching, it's all about future focused. What is going to happen next? Where you want to be, where you want your mind to be. This is something like that's future focused, but the counseling is past focused. Also, therein in the counseling, you think about what is the root cause of this particular problem. You tend to diagnose, you tend to search what is the root cause of a problem. But when I talk about life coaching, it's more of a solution focused thing. Okay, you are in this sport, you are in this shoes, so where to move next? So you basically focus upon solutions. And see, this counseling is basically done for emotions. That is, a counselor works with your emotions. But when I talk about coaching, we work upon your outcomes. So, whatever in whichever situation you are, where you want to be, what is going to be the outcome of this particular action, and how you're going to be. Also, because uh, counseling is something where you put on the back end पे क्या चल रहा है. You generally conversate in client by doing paraphrasing. You just tend to provide such words time and again. Okay, what did you say? And you manipulate the words just to know where the client is stuck in the mind, you know. And when I talk about this life coaching, it's backtracking. Okay, you just said something. What was it? The client himself gains that insights. Okay, I spoke so, I am into this, and moreover, it's not like why should we change. That's a very first question of psychotherapy. Why should we change? But in life coaching, the question is how can we change? These are the thin line differences now, because people use it interchangeably, but yes, that's a thin line difference.
So, as Venika explained it in a very correct manner as to what really is the difference between psychology and coaching. So, if we put it out there on this graph or we put it across on this line, for example, I'm a normal functioning human being, right? Now, there could be past life traumas, not past life, sorry, there could be traumas in the past in your current life. Let's say there could be some issues while you were born, there could be some issues while your upbringing. There could be issues revolving around some major event that has happened in your life, which or probably some other thing has made you dysfunctional. Or there could be mental health disorders, for example OCD, schizophrenia, extreme depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders. That's where we need clinical psychologists. So the idea is to bring you from here to here and reduce your symptoms. The idea is to ensure that the diagnosis is done properly. The idea is to ensure that there is a proper qualification. The idea is that there is a proper license. So unless you're a psychologist or unless you've come from this field, you're not being able to do these bits. For example, if we see in India, you have a bachelor's, master's in psychology. If you're a clinical counselor, you have an MPhil. If you are a counseling psychologist, then you are being able to deal with these issues on another level, even while you're having your masters or you do your PhD and then you practice. So the idea is to reduce the symptoms and bring it to a normal functioning human being. There is a lot of difference between what clinical psychologists do and counseling psychologists do, but we would not keep this topic for today. If you have any questions regarding that, you can certainly reach out to me for the same. Now we've reduced the symptoms and we've brought the person to a normal functioning human being. Now I say my job's fine, my relations are fine, my family is fine, I am also okay. However, I really need to strive and become, let's say, more successful. My career is fine, but I need to find something more intriguing. My career is fine, but I need to find something that I'm really passionate about. My relationships are fine, but there are days when I'm not being able to communicate my feelings. I am fine, I'm okay, healthy, but I really need to lose weight, but I don't have enough motivation. So when it comes to striving, when it comes to taking your normal functioning to a more higher level functioning, that's where your coaches like life coaches, business coaches, career coaches comes into the picture. Now, what's the difference between this and this? Can I do life coaching despite the fact that I don't have a license, or a typical psychology degree? 100% yes. So, if you are somebody who has this sort of personality where you wish to help people, where you wish to motivate people, where you wish to guide people, coach people, you can definitely take up a certification course in life coaching and still go ahead, pursue that. You would not need particular licenses, you would not need particular qualification in this case. Yeah, but over here, yes, we would need particular qualification and licenses. So it's our call. What do I like to do? Do I like to go beyond and deal with the human being which is functioning on a normal level, and I want to help them strive, I want to help them set a goal, I want to help them take decisions, help them get motivated and help them achieve their goals? Or should I want to deal with the symptoms, understand where the diagnosis is coming from, understand why is there a problem of self-worth, understand what are the past traumas? That's where our psychology comes in. Now the next question, we'd again come back to the mystic science bit. So how do you charge your cards really?
The cards are basically charged on full moons because tarot card readers, they value full moon like anything, and this divine energy is like you know the most powerful thing on earth for us. So we do charge tarot cards, angel cards, oracle cards, whatever we have, and even the crystals also under full moon light, either through a meditation or through a moon bath.
Okay, that's very interesting. So do you see any form of physical change happening while you're doing all of this?
You feel some of the this vibrations in your palms and tips. This is just basically like in every meditation you feel so, but
Yeah.
yes, that's something we really sense it out during meditation while charging these tarot cards.
Right, right. And what do you think about people who don't really believe in tarot card reading? Do you think that they should get it done in the first place? Like, if I'm just testing the waters, so do you think that works for a lot of people?
Yes, it actually works because I had one of my client who just called me to time pass because I started it with 11 rupees as an energy exchange more than a year back. And for the first 25 minutes, she was just enjoying, uh, as in I was continuously speaking and answering her questions. But in the last 5 minutes, she told me, I want to confess something. I said, okay, what is it? Because I got this idea because you get intuitions also while you do this tarot card reading. So she said, I just had this to have fun, but who knew this? It would turn out to be such a big reality of my life that those things that I've never shared to anyone, not even my family knows, you just spoke it out of your mouth. So this was something that made me believe because I was quite new to that thing, and it was like she was around in the first 50 customers. first 50 clients, and I was totally surprised because whenever you experience something new in your daily life, you actually learn lots of things. So this is like this profession has taught me, because I was not someone who was completely into learning tarot card reading. It was all of a decision in hardly 15 minutes when I got my reading for the very first time. So I booked a session for 30 minutes, but that stretched to 1 hour. So till 45 minutes, I was constantly asking my questions. I was constantly asking about my future insights. But in the last 15 minutes, I asked my coach, will you please teach me tarot card reading? And she agreed that day. And this was one such big miracle of my life, big blessing, that I just switched my line and had a mix of life coaching and tarot reading all together. And yes, the ones who do not believe, definitely they should not get it, because somewhere then you are directly or indirectly insulting that mystic science. But see, energies are involved, and energies are, cards are charged, and you feel angels around, you feel divinity around. It's kind of insulting them. At least if we cannot be good to someone, we should not be even bad or speak out something bad. That's more of a common sense thing, right? So one should not uh, go into this if you do not believe. But yes, if you think like, I am 50-50, I'm 50% sure, okay, it is there, I'm 50% like, okay, maybe not. So see, whatever the mystic sciences are, we are not God, and now we are just the mediums. We just connect our auras to the divinity, or we just enter in our higher consciousness. We are not God, but yes, if tarot cards answer such questions that are not favorable for you, there are some of the remedies that you can come up and perform it. There are some of the challenges that you tend to face, because tarot cards has this thing as an answer. So thereon, I feel, because every soul is a conscious creator, if you be in your consciousness 100%, but we just be in our conscious just for 1%. So that is the reason we hardly are able to manifest things. We hardly are able to experience that law of attraction correctly. So if such things appear in the tarot cards, definitely you can manifest. At least you can pray or you follow some of the remedies to cure your things.
Sure. Venika, could you tell us a difference between spirituality and religiousness? And who are you? Are you someone who is more of a religious person or more of a spiritual person?
I am a spiritual person, but I'm not a religious person at all. Religious, religions are multiple in number. We know we have number of religions, we have subcategories of religions. Maybe it's all about where your family believes. आपकी mind conditioning उसी तरह से हो जाती है. मंदिर जाना है, गुरुद्वारे जाना है, चर्च जाना है, हमने मस्जिद जाना है, राइट? हमने किसी आश्रम में जाना है, डेरा पे जाना है. सो इट्स ऑल लाइक आपकी फैमिली क्या फॉलो कर रही है, आप उसी ट्रेंड में आना शुरू कर देते हो, बिकॉज your family wants to follow that pattern that the family itself is following. I've seen many such cases in my clients as well. They don't want the kids to move to any other religion, to any other place. Maybe out of this complex, maybe because they never believed in, so they thought, they actually think कि कुछ नहीं रखा है वहां पे, जो है यहाँ पे है. There is no such thing. Every soul has its own destiny. आप कौन से religion में पैदा हो रहे हो, it's again one of your destiny, but power of choice is in your hands where you want to move. So whatever is available near to my hometown or within or even not, I started believing over time in multiple deities, multiple almighties, and at last I could conclude only one thing: the power is all one. It's just that you have different, you know, different names, different deities, different locations, but everywhere you find the same energy, everywhere you find the same divinity. So there is a comparison. There is actually a difference, a big difference between being spiritual and being religious. I am spiritual, but I'm not religious. If like my parents visit mandir, definitely I go because I believe, but it's not like I'll be a die-hard fan of temples only, that I want to moving to gurdwaras or church or even masjid. Definitely I just enter in wherever I feel like to enter. So
Wow.
spirituality is basically connecting to divinity, connecting to your higher consciousness, connecting to your universe. It's not about डूइंग दैट, तिलक करना है, हमने चुन्नी लेके जाना है, जो भी ट्रेंड्स मतलब किसी भी कस्टम में फॉलो हो रहे हैं, spirituality is completely different. It is actually something your soul wants. आप अपने आप में रह रहे हो, अपने 7 chakras को हील कर रहे हो, and then just throwing the energy in the universe, and once you feel connected, that's where the spirituality is. And लोग इस बात को नहीं समझते हैं जल्दी से. This is
Yeah,
a big,
sense.
challenge these days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so while I'm talking to you, this makes me recall one of the instances from my childhood where I remember my parents used to take us to, in fact, me and my brother, our family used to visit to a masjid on a Thursday. We also used to go to gurdwaras, we also used to go to mandirs, and we also used to go to like celebrate Christmas to church. So I think all of these nitty gritties really define whether you're going towards more of a spirituality or more of towards something which is religion. So I think it really comes from your upbringing. Who, as an
Right.
individual, are you becoming? So that really depends on all of these factors as to what are you really following. And I don't think we really need to focus on what is better. The fact in itself tells what is better, whether spirituality is better or following religion is better. And that takes us to the next question. So, what do you think? Um, what kind of personality, what kind of people should really enter in the field of life coaching, tarot card reading? And is there any need of prior qualification?
So yeah, there is no need of prior qualification because I was someone who was tend to do PhD in organizational behavior or human resources because I really love to work with minds of people. But when I was in my last semester and all those incidents had happened in life, I came to know one of the life coaches who is basically from my district only, but she got settled in New York, US. So once day, I remember I came across her page on Facebook with one of the mutual friends, and I looked upon, okay, what does she actually do? I started her attending her live sessions on Facebook, and she used to empower people, provide some tips to remain calm, to remain positive, to remain composed, and how can you be more creative enough? How does your breath work really uh, burst your stress, and many more things. Presently, she is a pranayam teacher over there in the US and a life coach also. So she had her own bitter past, and once, like on a live session, I came to know about her life history. Why did she turn out to be a life coach? Now she was doing a very renowned job in the US. So I that day I felt okay. This is my inspiration. I was looking for such a profession from last 7 years, and this is something that turned out to be. So thereon, I decided, okay, I'll be a life coach.
Okay.
But to be a life coach, definitely because you don't require a prior degree. But yes, if you want to mix counseling and coaching, it's better to keep it separate. But yes, at times you need. So you must have again that bachelor's and master's in psychology and clinical psychology or whatever the fields are. But as a person or as a personality, who would become a successful life coach? The one who has trained his or her mind to be positive no matter what is there in front of you. A person who is confident enough to deal with any of the calamities that comes all of a sudden in your life. So basically, I personally feel from my experience, it's something that is related to the conditioning of your mind. You condition your mind to be positive every time, definitely you can become a successful life coach. And you should have that zeal and confidence to help someone else who is undergoing some stress, who is at such a point in life where he or she feels like there is no reason to be happy. Now you have to create, you have to make that person realize, definitely you need to have patience because you never know what the client may burst up to be.
Yeah, Venika, sorry to cut you there, but could you also give us instances, like certain examples of the clients that you've seen during the live coaching session? What sort of cases has come to you?
Yeah. See, basically, because I have my niche market to work with people that has an age gap of from 21 to 40 years.
Mhm.
This is my niche market. So I have clients who have this issues that they are not mentally fit, not exactly like they need some medications or something, but yes, if I feel like after listening to their problems that they need some of the medications or counseling things, because if you are not able to live in your present moment, definitely you cannot move into life coaching or get coaching thing done. So thereon, I just deny my clients, okay, you have to move to a counselor or a psychiatrist for medications and proper treatment, where you need to be diagnosed first.
Hmm.
But I've had clients who were just blessed with each and everything, but they never learned to stay happy in life.
Hmm.
There are persons who are emotionally turbulent. There are persons who wants to grow spiritually. There are clients who tend to learn meditation, who are who want to be connected to divinity, but they find some of the challenges. So see, basically, as like that of counseling, in life coaching also, the client must have the internal zeal first
Right.
to move into a next phase, to move on to a next level. Until or unless you do not have that zeal, nothing can make you move at a next level, or just detach yourself from the current emotions or current circumstances.
Right, right, makes sense. And what do you think about, again, coming back to the, we were talking about aura reading, vibe reading. So, what do you think about having sixth sense, intuition, psychic power? We had a discussion about it. Do you feel that there is also a part of you that has these aspects? Where does it come from, and how does it help you to become a better tarot card reader?
Intuitions, sixth sense, or psychic powers, I feel everyone has it because we all are alike. Definitely, it's all about how do you listen yourself, how do you listen your mind, because I told you every soul is a conscious creator. It's just that if your mind is calm, you are capable enough to listen to your own self, your inner voice, your gut feeling. That's where like you can hear your sixth sense, or maybe the psychic powers are really a bit different. But when I talk about your sixth sense, definitely everyone has it. And once you come into this practice of meditation and tend to listen your own self, you can easily get the sixth sense activated, right? And it basically works with your third eye and crown chakra. If you work on these two chakras, definitely you will be able to know about what's going to happen next, okay? Or you may get some of the gut feelings, okay, I was thinking before this could have happened. And many of you may dream about some things that actually happens after a few days or maybe few hours. So this is something that is when your third eye chakra is activated, you tend to see those images in the mind. And psychic powers are really different. If we just to take as an example, I'm not a psychic, but yes, just to take it as an example, if I be a psychic, मेरे सामने कोई भी name आ रहा है, I'll just speak out. आपका ऐसा चल रहा है, ऐसा होने वाला है. That's like instantly you get those thoughts in your mind. I'm not at that level because it is just an initial stage of my life, but yes, I feel crazy and excited to become psychic one day.
Okay. And what about the aura reading bit? So, for example, when we were having a mock session and I was sitting in this room, so I just tell everyone that while I was sitting in this room, so Venika could tell that there's a lot of overthinking going, which is true because planning the entire webinar series, executing it, even while we are having discussions, major discussions are happening in this room. So while I was having a discussion with her, while I was having a video call with her, I shifted to another room, and she immediately pointed out, in this is one room, the other room where you only come to rest, and it has that vibe. And that was very true. It did have a vibe. That particular room, we don't go there the entire day. We only go there to rest or to sleep. And this one room where I'm particularly sitting right now, the entire working day happens here. The entire working schedule, execution, planning happens here. So, what is it exactly? How do you really get to understand the vibe or the aura of the place and the person?
I feel it's a gift from the universe. And yes, I don't know why, but whenever I meet someone for the very first time, I just stay silent because it's something I feel like to judge, not exactly judge, but to get the vibes from the aura. And I use my intuitions over there, and I feel like okay, what could have happened? वो अपने आप से वाइब्स आने लगते हैं, आपको समझ में नहीं आता है. इट वाज नॉट लाइक इनिशियली स्टार्टिंग से ऐसा था चाइल्डहुड से, नो, बट ओवर टाइम एज यू ग्रो अप यू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग as you have already experienced. So many of the cases happen like that only.
Yeah, yeah. I have one of my students here who is from 12th standard, in fact, and
Okay.
she mentioned having that, you know, the intuition sort of a thing. She'd tell me that, ma'am, even before somebody speaks up something, I know what the person is going to speak up. Even
It's a
before
psychic power. Yeah.
oh, wow. So that particular person, I know she's there, and if she's listening to it, you are also blessed to have that sort of power. I don't understand where does it come from, but yes, a lot of people do experience that. So what's your take on karmas? Like certain people say that okay, it's destiny. Certain people say that you better do at least try to make your own destiny. So what do you think? Is it more of a destiny, or do you think it's more of
I believe in destiny,
you make it?
right?
Hmm.
Mhm. I believe in destiny. Now, just to recite a very small example, for instance, आपकी डेस्टिनी में है, फॉर ऑल द यूथ प्रेजेंट ओवर हियर, अगर अभी तक आपने अपना गोल डिसाइड नहीं किया लाइफ में, आपकी डेस्टिनी में है खाना खाना, राइट? नाउ इट्स अप टू यू, खाना कहाँ खाना है, मंदिर में बैठ के, गुरुद्वारे के बाहर कहाँ खाना है, या अपने घर में बैठ के डाइनिंग टेबल पे दो सब्जी, एक दाल, सैलेड, अच्छी खासी चपाती, राइस, पुलाव सब होना चाहिए विद स्वीडिश एज वेल, राइट? डेस्टिनी में खाना खाना था, बट किस तरह का खाना है, it is in your hands. That's where I feel like conscious creators can transform their destiny. Conscious creators can enrich themselves to be at such a place where they visualize to be. So definitely, like good karmas, hard work, dedication, positivity, faith, a blend of all this would definitely result into success and will, turn out the visions into reality, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a very the way you've portrayed it is very beautifully done. And a lot of students out there, right? I think khana sabke haath mein hai. I mean, everybody's getting food, but where you're getting to eat the food is in your hand. So is the
Yeah.
case with, let's say, because a lot of students are there. So is the case with your education and with your career. Almost everyone who's attending this right now is going to a school, is going to a college, but yet from the same class there is one person who's making a lot of difference, and the rest others who are not making the similar kind of difference or the similar kind of mark in their own career. So where is it coming from? That's where you are the controller of your own destiny. That's where we talk about in psychology, what we say is internal locus of control. आप बोलेंगे वो तो उसकी किस्मत अच्छी थी या उसकी डेस्टिनी अच्छी थी, दैट्स आउट ऑफ आउटर लोकस ऑफ कंट्रोल. बट इफ यू हैव अ कंट्रोल on what my career should look like, on what my destiny should look like, so your behavior, your choices, and to be very precise, your karmas are really playing a role here. I'm binge watching Mahabharata these days, so that's why the karma thing is coming out, and I certainly believe that it makes a big time difference in how
Yeah,
you
it's
create a destiny for
beautifully,
yourself.
it's beautifully written in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as well.
Mm,
A
mm,
man is made by his beliefs, as he believes, so he is. आप
mm,
जो समझते हो, जैसा चाहते हो, जैसा मानते हो, आप वैसे ही बन जाते हो. So it's
mm.
better to think positive, है ना, and visualize positive. अगर आप नेगेटिव नेगेटिव सोचते जाओगे, स्ट्रेस लेते जाओगे, लाइफ में वैसी सारी वाइब्स आपके पास आती जाएंगी.
Bilkul, bilkul. That's very true. So, the first question is there any official body that certifies tarot card readers, or authorities the
Not
certification?
at all. If
Okay.
in case you find it on internet that there is a tarot certification over there, so the tarot card readers out of their own experience provide the certifications, but there is no rigid body that actually trains you to be a tarot card reader.
All right. As a professional tarot card reader, apart from becoming a social media influencer, are there any other paths to build a career in it?
See, I was not on social media. Actually, I was not that active on social media. I didn't reveal that I was doing tarot card reading, but it was something that I used to have as a fun because I loved connecting to energies and answering people's questions. So basically, it was profession, but not as a social media influencer. But if you tend to feel like to help people out to come out of the darkness and provide them few of the strategies or remedies to cover up the things, then definitely you should. But yes, that's the I think only way out, because even if you search on Instagram, there are numerous tarot card readers.
Right, right. And what is the importance of crystals in tarot card reading? Is it mandatory to have crystals connection? Crystal
Yeah,
connection.
crystals, basically crystals have healing powers, right? They too are energized on full moons. They have to be kept outside in under the moonlight. There is wand, there is rose quartz, there is clear quartz, there is amethyst, and there are many more. Basically, as a tarot reader, if you are beginning at an initial level, you should at least have a wand, rose quartz in your tarot box. Reason being, if you are someone who is emotionally weak, as I used to be, so if a client comes in front of you and speaks up, okay, this hell is going on in my life, you become emotional. Once you become emotional, your cards do not tell the answers correctly. So that's the way you have to hold a rose quartz pendant in your right hand. I'll show you once I'll start reading the cards.
Right, right. And the whole tarot card readers community can essentially be divided into two parts, one which considers reverse cards in a tarot spread and other which doesn't. Ideally, it is required to consider the reverse cards. That's the question. Is it important to consider the reverse cards?
No, it's because I told you it's all upon your pattern. I was not knowing that upright cards equally tell the same answer, because where there is more of intuition thing, that's all fine to read the upright cards. But if you are learning it as a passion or as a taste, because you want to experience it, I think you should definitely learn the reverse cards also, because it's all about energies. वही कार्ड पॉजिटिव आ रहा है जब अपराइट है, वही रिवर्स आ रहा है तो वो नेगेटिव शो करता है. सो आई थिंक बोथ एस्पेक्ट शुड बी कवर्ड, है ना.
Mm,
अ कॉइन हैज टू साइड्स, सो इट मस्ट गो कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री.
right. For a tarot card reader at beginner level, rider weight, I don't even know what this means.
Yeah,
Rider
right
weight
away.
tarot cards are recommended for detailed learning and practice. Is there a similar recommendation for a beginners in terms of angel cards as well?
I do not suggest to instantly jump to the angel cards. At least
What,
learn
what
tarot
does
card
this
reading.
mean? Could you like break it down for all our students out there? Because this person
Yeah.
seems to be a little pro, and even though he's a beginner, but could you
Mhm.
just explain it to all of us what these two cards mean?
Yeah, there are numerous cards, there are numerous decks, right? So basically, Rider White is something that is an initial thing that you learn tarot card reading in detail, and once you come into practice, you tend to feel intuitions also, and mostly like as many as readings you do, you tend to learn more of the insights. Okay, what energies, what angels want to tell you.
Mm.
Now, this angel cards, oracle cards, I have this today. I'm gonna do this the soul's journey oracle cards. I've picked up this deck, and I have two more decks lying in my cupboard, but I've not pulled out because I don't know why I felt connectivity. So this angel cards I have chosen, I think more than it has happened 6 months post doing the normal tarot card reading thing. And angel cards definitely require more of the connectivity to the universe. So I personally feel you should once connect to the the tarot card reading, start doing readings, get more into this, do hundreds and thousands of readings altogether, and then you can switch to any other deck. Because every time when you switch to any other deck, it takes your time, efforts, and energies to learn. And the first very prime thing is to get connected to the cards. If you're not connected to the cards are not going to answer. तो आपके ऑरा से उसका कनेक्शन बनना बहुत जरूरी है.
Right, and that's what one of our students, Vrinda, here asks: is sufficient? Is it sufficient to start with just one tarot card deck and one
Yeah,
oracle deck, or which one would you recommend? And are there any other basic decks or any other thing that you'd suggest, or
I
is
feel
there?
it's the easiest ones to go through the Reader White deck. Uh, Go through it and spend enough of the time learning about the significance of the cards. And post that, you can move to the Soul's Journey. I'll show you the decks over here on the screen. And once you do like hundreds of readings, only then switch to any other deck. Do not switch in between, otherwise it will be a confusing thing for you. And if you just charge the cards and keep it in the cupboard or the box, it's not really good, because energies are packed over there, they do not get space to move out. They do not get space to get connected. So it's better to stick to one deck first. Hands-on practice is must, and while you do hundreds of readings all together, so I've done completed my 200 readings in the first initial 7 to 9 months, because I was doing job, so I was not a full-time tarot reader that time also. So post that, I started doing this angel card reading.
Right, right. Please guide us to analyze negative
Mhm.
vibes and or bad intentions of a person and how to overcome those.
All right. So basically, देखो analysis करना, I won't say कि if you are packed with such thoughts and you are being negative, so you won't be able to sense up कि सामने वाला क्या सोच रहा है, कैसे देख रहा है. वो सिक्स सेंस काम करती है, but उसके लिए you have to clean up your own aura. And to clean up your own aura, definitely meditation is highly recommended. Now, Abhi, like we'll be doing meditation, you will be sensing it out because I'll be sending the good vibes to each and every viewer over here. You will have to just scan your aura, right? And post that, you will be able to sense it, how someone thinks. And it's not like Rome was not built in a day, like that thing. You have to gain practice. You have to look for, okay, you have to listen to your own self. जब आप खुद को नहीं सुनना शुरू करोगे, आपको कभी पता ही नहीं चलेगा नेगेटिव क्या है, पॉजिटिव क्या है, क्योंकि आप न्यूट्रल रह रहे हो, राइट? So aura cleaning is a must thing. For that, you can spend good time in nature during the dawn and dusk, and try to be alone and silent whenever you are in nature. Try to sense what, how the leaves look like, how the grass looks like, how the trees look like, how does the bird fly, and thereon you can do meditation, the normal meditations that can benefit you if you really want to be in this field. If you start meditating before sleep,
Right, right.
and to clear the aura, lit some of the incense sticks in the home during evening time and just sit around and be silent. You will just tend to clarify your aura and filter it.
Exactly. And a lot of you have also asked whether life coaching and tarot card reading goes hand in hand, and if is it mandatory for you to do tarot card reading or life coaching together. No, that's not the case. You can become a life coach independently. You can become a tarot card reader independently. That's just it's your interest. If you wish to combine both the things, you can combine both the things. You can become a counselor and a life coach. You can become a tarot card reader and a counselor. You can become a life coach and a tarot card reader. So there is no fast rule that you have to do all the things simultaneously. You can just pick up one and master on that. If you like to add on to that skill, you can also add up while doing the other certification course. For example, how it is for architectures, right? For architectures, it's not needed that they do a Vastu Shastra course, right? But there will go in a lot of families, especially in Indian culture, where a lot of families would ask that, okay, do you also know about Vastu? So having an added advantage, that's just like having an added advantage, but it's not mandatory. All right, a final thank you to everyone